All right, everybody, welcome back to the Painted Springs Garage. So I've got a Cub Cadet 528 snowblower here, and now we have snow outside, and being the fool that I am, I'm attempting to start it for the first time, and it doesn't start. So where I've made it so far is on the bottom of the carburetor. There is a little drain. So let's see, we got this little bolt here to remove the carburetor. And then this one here is a drain plug. I pulled this out and got just a little bit of old yellow gas, and that was it. And I know I just put probably half a gallon of gas in here, so it should continue to drain out of there, but it's not. So now I need to figure out why we're not getting enough fuel. So I'm going to pull this little panel off the side here, see if I can see some more stuff, and maybe we'll end up having to pull the carburetor or a fuel line apart or something. It seems it's not getting fuel into the carburetor bowl, so let's figure that out. See what else holds that on here. Looks like somebody's bent that open before, so maybe this isn't a new problem here. I need to take more bolts out to get this shield off, so let's figure that out. All right, well, I've got the one screw up here that's kind of captured, and I can't get that out without taking a bunch of stuff apart, so we're gonna get around without just pulling that screw out, that bolt. But I got this up a little bit so we can see in here at least. And let's see, so we've got gas tank right there with the red cap. And there's a line coming out the bottom of it. Let's see here, somewhere in there. I'm guessing that big line right about there. And that comes into the carburetor here. So what I'm gonna do is just actually take the bowl off the bottom of the carburetor, and I expect that we're gonna have fuel like just pouring out of there, hopefully. So, you know, I'll catch that in here, I guess. But if we don't have fuel pouring out of there, then we've got something going on with the fuel supply. I'll have to figure out. But yeah, so let's take that bolt out and see if we get a bunch of fuel and get it, at least the bolt started coming loose. Oh, it's a tight one. I wonder if it's been out before. I'm guessing somebody else has been here and probably did all this and said, you know what? I don't know how to fix it. I don't want to mess with it. And then I got a hold of it. But I do want to mess with it. And I do want to fix it. So let's see. All right. I'll hold that in place with the camera hand, I think. All right, we've got more coming out here. It's a good sign. Let's add a little bit more. Some drippings. Is this no, just a solid bolt that came out there. And we do not have fuel pouring out. So fuel is not getting to the carburetor somehow. So that's interesting. It doesn't look great. The bowl looks okay. Looks like the gasket stayed on the carburetor side. Here's the bolt that held that on. It looks okay. and it's not one of those banjo bolts that has holes through it. It's just a solid bolt. So stuff looks all right. But yeah, we gotta figure out why fuel isn't coming to the carburetor. So keep on digging here. All right, now we're getting a little bit of fuel. So our needle was stuck on the seat there. I pulled the pin out here, which should let this whole float and needle pop out, but it didn't. It was stuck. So I kind of wedged it out with the screwdriver, and now we're getting some fuel flow. The problem is I've actually got a decent amount of fuel in here. So I want to stop the fuel flow. But I don't have a method to do that, really. So maybe what I should do is just, I don't know, put the carburetor back together and blow my driveway. That seems reasonable. Let's see. Stay tuned here. We gotta find a better catch pan. All right. Well, I quick slammed that carburetor bowl back on, and I think it's got fuel now. I only lost not much in the process, which in the grand scheme of things is not terrible. Yeah, and the fuel that came out, at least initially, was pretty gross. So got some bad fuel out. The fuel that was leaking out seemed pretty clear. So yeah, I think at this point it's probably gonna start. So let's turn that guy back up to bunny. I got the key in here, chokes on all the way. Give it a couple pushes, see if it starts, and then put all that back together. Then hopefully blow up the driveway here. I'm gonna screw the gas cap back on. Let's see what happened. Oh, and this has electric start too. So did my old one, but yeah, just plug an extension cord in and push the button here. All right, give it a few more primers. Maybe too much choke. Is it flooded? I'd really expect at this point it's gonna start. So we got our key in, we got it on bunny. How about a bunch of primers? Try it again. Interesting. I wonder if my jet also is plugged up on the carburetor. Although it should still start with priming. Make sure the ignition is plugged in there. You can see on the back side up there. It's plugged in. We can check for spark. It's got to have fuel at this point. I know the carburetor is getting fuel at least. And here's where, well, I guess maybe it wouldn't be if my jet's plugged up, then it might not be getting enough to prime either. All right, I might need to pull this carburetor apart further. That means I got to actually drain the gas out. So stand by. So I got the fuel drained here from the carburetor just by taking the little drain plug out of the bowl, and got a little fancy funnel set up here to a gas can. but very little came out. And it looks like I've lost some on the tire here. So maybe my bowl's not sealing on the carburetor, or one of the plugs isn't sealing on that. But I also see that my oil is a bit overfilled now. So I think that my carburetor leaked into the cylinder, and it went past the rings of the piston and filled my crankcase with fuel. Which, I mean, that's okay. We'll get the carburetor fixed here. I'm gonna also go ahead and drain the crankcase, which is pretty easy. It's got this plug here, so I'll drain that, put fresh oil in here. Good time for that anyhow. But I'm pretty sure that the emulsion tube is plugged on the carburetor, and that's why we're not getting fuel into the engine to start it. So we'll pull that bowl back off, see why it's not sealing, and fix the emulsion tube, and get some new fuel and some new oil in here. All right, so apparently I didn't have nearly all the fuel out of here. So now I've got it draining, can't really see, but draining into the funnel here, which drains into the next funnel, which drains into a gas can. That's the best thing I found right now to get from there under the carburetor into the gas can. And I got the oil drained also. So I'm gonna let this drain for a while, and then we'll get back in there and see about getting that emulsion tube apart. And I gotta go shopping for a better funnel I can snake up into something like this and get into a gas can. All right, so I got the oil drained here, and there's really no sign of fuel in here. The oil looks pretty, I mean, it's dark, but it doesn't look to be like fuel diluted. It's quite a bit of it though, probably like quart and a half. So we get that filled back up with fresh oil, and yeah, we got access to the carburetor here, got all the fuel drained out of the system. So now we can start working on that jet, see why it's plugged up. Actually, I'm gonna pull it back out, clean the needle up as well, the needle and seat, get that jet out, and yeah, see if it's plugged. I think that's what our problem with starting here is. Obviously, it's not getting any fuel in the engine because it doesn't even try to start when I push the primer. So yeah, we'll see if it's that jet plugged up, or keep going if we need to. All right, you can see looking up through the bottom of the carburetor through my mirror here that the jet has like little cutouts for a screwdriver to go in it, so we can get that jet pulled out of there. And I'm gonna bet that's plugged up, probably plugged up solid, and probably our problem here. So let's pull that out and see what we're working with. All right, so for getting this jet out, usually what I do is I take a screwdriver and put the screwdriver up in there, but there's so little room between the tire and the bottom of the carburetor here that I really can't fit a screwdriver in there. So what I'm gonna do instead is just take a little like screwdriver bit and put that up in there, because I've got room to get that in, lots of room to get a bit in. Okay, that seems to be right. And then take a little wrench to turn the bit. There we go. That's actually gonna work just fine. So let's turn it a bit more, get this loosened up. There we go. Now I can twist that out. And see if we can't get this jet out. See what it looks like. No, a little bit more. Oh, I thought it was coming. Come on, jet. No, still. Come on. There's a lot of threads that holds this thing in, I guess. Here it comes. All right, beautiful. So there you have it. So let's take this over to the bench, and it looks to be pretty plugged up. We'll take it over to the bench and see if it really is plugged up and work on getting it opened up. All right, so here's our little jet. And what I like to do is basically just hold it up to a light like this, and you should be able to see right through it. And see if we can focus here. I can't see anything at all through that. So that appears to be frozen, totally solid, which I'm gonna put my money on being our problem here. So let's get some wire, and what I do is I just take like some electrical wire, take a strand and work my way up to a few strands and more strands to open that up as wide as I can, and clean it up. And I think that's going to be how we solve the problem here. So let's get some wire, start working this open. All right, so all that I do to clean up these jets is I take just some regular wire, and we're going to strip some of it down, pull the shrink wrap or the casing off of it, like so. And then I'm just going to take like 2 strands to start with here, and we'll twist them together like so. And then see if we can't work them through this jet. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. We got through. Oops. We got through. So now I'll bet if we hold this back up to the light, actually just do that down here like so. Can we see something through it? That might be too much light. Can we see anything? Not yet. All right, well, let's go some more. Let's go up to 4 strands. Oh, lost one there. All right, here we go. 4 strands. Yeah, this is an old Indian trick for cleaning out your carburetors. Where'd it go? Here we are. All right, doesn't really matter, I guess, what side you approach it from. But let's stick it in there. We'll do a little bit of twisting. Oh yeah, hey, good resistance there. But now we're through. And can we, oh yeah. Let's take a look again. Look at that. Now we can start to see through there. So we still have a bit more cleaning to do. But yeah, huge progress. I'll bet it'll probably run now, but let's see how many strands. Ideally, I would just want to keep on adding strands here until like we physically cannot get through there anymore. Then it should be pretty clean. So let's keep on going, opening this up. And go up to, what do we have, 4? Let's double that and go straight to 8. See what happens. That might be too much, but you know, we will see. Oop. Oh, it might go through. Come on. Come on. Looks like it's twisting my wires really tight. All right, 8 might be too many. I don't know, like it was trying though. Just keep on twisting and pushing. It might actually come through. And you can see a little bit coming out this side. Let's go backwards a little bit. Let's go to like, I don't know, This many? How many is that? That seems about right. Let's make another little bundle here. But I like these fixes where we are just using things off the shelf. I have not bought a part for this yet. I'm even going to reuse the gaskets. Put this back together. Come on. Looks like it's winding the wires really tight. Maybe that's still too many. Oh, seems like it wants to go through. Oh yeah, they're poking through here. See little ends of the wire there? Alright, I'll bet we're good with that. How do we look? Can we see through it? Yeah, looks like it. So I'd say this guy is ready to go back in the carburetor. So let's get it reassembled. Oh, actually we gotta clean up the needle still. Then we'll get it reassembled, see if it starts. All right, here's another old trick. I'm going to use this is a piece for cleaning a gun barrel. What size is this? Can I even read it? I don't think my eye's leaving. Oh, 22 caliber. And this should fit up into that little bore where the needle goes. There we go. Look at all that dust. And we'll just clean that guy out. And this whole carburetor is just a casualty of ethanol gasoline. Getting everything all plugged up. Yeah, look how nasty that is. Let's go up in there again. Oh, it's feeling a lot smoother already. Get that cleaned out. And I don't want to push up too hard and, damage the actual seat that the needle seals against. Just clean the bore out here. Oh yeah, that's feeling good. Let's see how our needle fits in there now. Oh, look at that. Nice and loose, like it should be. So this carburetor had two problems. One was that this needle was stuck, so it wasn't letting fuel in. And the other problem was that the jet in the emulsion tube was plugged up, so even if fuel was in here, it couldn't get up into the engine. So I think we've got both of those solved. So let's put this needle assembly with the float back up in there. We'll get our jet back in, put the bowl back on. This thing should fire. Oh, we gotta put oil in it too. Then it should fire. Back up in there you go, buddy. All right, jet's back in. Our needle's moving. So let's put our carburetor bowl back on. Let's see, do we have a gasket in here? Yeah, it's got nope, no gasket there. Is there a gasket up here? Yeah, there's a gasket up there. All right. Put that guy back on with the drain plug on the side here. Look at that. snug her down. Don't need to kill it, just need to be snug. Let's make sure this one's snug too. Come on. Oh yeah, that one's nice and snug. All right, carburetor's back together. So let's put some oil in this. I'm gonna leave these shields loose for now. Put some oil back in this girl. Some new fuel, and see if it fires. All right, so I got this back together now, and should start and run, I hope. So we got the key in, so it should run. Let's prime it a couple times. Gonna turn my choke on. This is all the way to Bunny, and I've got a cord plugged in here, so we got the electric start. See if it fires. Well, it's a ripper. Sounds like maybe it's over revving. So curious about that. I'll have to look and see if all the linkages are connected right. But yeah, starts and runs. So that's good. Yeah, so I'll check all the linkages, and maybe it's just gonna blow snow like wild. But definitely running. Let's see if it restarts here. Let's give it a couple. Oh, it's on stop. Maybe that's why. So it's running again, so that's awesome. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you did, please like the video or leave me a comment. I love those, respond to most of them, and I'll see you next time.